Yes, sir. Start on the show doing the backhand bounce on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on an impromptu. You're not used to seeing us on a Sunday night, but we had to give it to you while I was fresh out the pot.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is JB. That's my podcast partner, DJ Seaway. And you are watching the Sports Talking with JB version of the 2025 College Football Playoff Reaction Show. Thank you guys for joining
Hey,
us.
what's up?
What's up, Tip? What's going
What's
on?
up?
Seaway, why you so tickled over there, my brother? What's going on with you?
Boy, they ain't gotta like it, but they gotta respect it. But
Yes, sir.
but when you ask me my opinion about this, I'm gonna tell you why I'm so tickled. I'm
Okay.
gonna break it down why I'm so tickled. And it is a blessed day to be alive. And just to know that the tide is still alive.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you guys for joining, man. So while y'all in here, make sure y'all hit the like button, as I always ask you guys to do. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, and share this to your people, man. We are live right here on a Sunday night. We had to let it marinate for a minute. They did the bracket reveal about what 6-7 hours ago. 6-7
Yeah,
hours
about a few
ago.
hours. Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
hours ago.
So we had to let it marinate. I know a lot of other people, and shouts out to everybody else who did their live reactions right after they announced the brackets. But we want to let it sit on it for a minute. We want to sit on it for a minute. Let everybody else do their thing. Then we gonna come hit y'all in the evening time. But before
Yeah.
we get started, let's do our sponsors. This whole network, this show is provided to you by Jack Ingram Mercedes Benz. If you're in the market for a new Benz, any pre-owned vehicle, check out the inventory at jackingrammercedes.com or check them out at location at 217 Eastern Boulevard, Montgomery, Alabama. Proud sponsor of the Sports Talking with JB podcast network.
Yes. Yes.
And of course, sponsored by Title Tower, man. So we're not gonna do the rolling with the tide segment, but I will encourage you, Bama fans. We still alive, like Seaway said. We still got another game to play and some. So go to WinWillSports.com, get you a Title Tower. Tell them JB and Seaway sent you, and let's keep rolling with the tide like we always do. Now, let me tell y'all why we here for, man. Let me tell y'all what we here for. Hey, shouts out Nick Beasley. What's up, bro?
What that, Nick? What that? Roll Tide,
What's up?
baby.
What's going on? Yeah, for sure. What's up, Latonya Billingsley in the chat? What's going on? Appreciate you for tapping in. Yes, indeed. So,
Yes, yeah. What's going on? Roll Tide.
hey, check this out. Y'all know why we here, right? Y'all know why we here. Now, Seaway, I'm gonna get your reaction first, and then I'm gonna come after you. But when you saw this morning, what was your initial reaction?
Man, I started laughing.
Why?
I started laughing. Boy, and I did the joke. Yeah. And I was surprised that we didn't drop at all, but I'm not surprised of the choice of Alabama. And what it seems like from what I've been listening to since I started listening to everybody last night, everybody's opinion. I watched, both games, and I heard a lot of people saying that game last night should not have hurt Alabama. But JB, don't you remember a couple years ago we said that by them extending the playoff, then we say this on our show that all the thing they're gonna do is make room for a 3-loss Alabama team.
Absolutely.
And so then a few years ago, right, they was mad at Alabama. I'm gonna bring the history of this Alabama hate. I'm gonna break it down in this SEC. Hey, I gotta break it down like I'm doing on Sundays. It's a Sunday, right?
Right, it's a Sunday.
So
Break it down
so
for us real quick.
so then they get mad a few years ago when Alabama beat LSU in the national championship and said that we had no business going to the national championship because it's two SEC teams
And we lost to them before.
and we lost to them, but we beat them, right?
hmm True.
Didn't they get mad when we beat Georgia without going to the SEC championship
Yep.
and we
Sure
made the
did.
playoff? So they started trying to extend the playoff to keep Alabama and the SEC team from winning national championships. Then so they wanted to extend it again, saying that the 14 wasn't good enough. And Alabama got in over Florida State.
Yep.
And so here we are once again. You can't keep Alabama out no matter what you do. Alabama football is college football. Whether we winning, whether we losing, whether we pipes, whether we get blowed out, whether we blowing somebody out, whether we barely winning, whether we struggling, at the end of the day, Alabama is college football. You like it or not. So I was pretty happy when I saw the results, man. It did surprise me. Now, only thing that did surprise me, now I'm done being silly,
Okay.
was that we didn't drop a couple of spots. Now that kind of surprised me. I was expecting us to be 10 or 11, but you cannot demolish what we have done this season. It's been an up and down season. There been some games we've been had some highs and lows,
Right.
but you beat Georgia in Athens, something
Yeah.
that no team has not been able to do in years. Go
True.
to Athens, Georgia, and win on the road.
True.
Then you beat four top 25 SEC teams back to back to back to back without a bye week. You that counts for something. And when we beat those teams, they were at the pinnacle of their season. They was at their best. When you look at Tennessee, we beat Tennessee when they was at their best. We beat a Vanderbilt that was at their best. We beat Missouri when they was at their best. And then we beat Georgia at Athens. And when Georgia and Athens, that's at their best regardless of what happened today. Now, we just straight fumbled the bag Saturday. And, I'm not going to get into that. I'll give you my reaction on that on Tuesday night.
Tuesday. Yeah.
But what Alabama has done, you cannot ignore what they have done so far. And I was pretty excited. I'm gonna let you get your take then, so we can move on to getting on the baby hair at Notre Dame and them later. So I'm gonna ask you the same question. So JB, when you saw that Alabama across the screen, what was your take on it? What was your reaction?
Well, first of all, thank you, Seaway, for putting you pretty much laid it all out there like I would have said it. And please hit the like button, everybody. Subscribe, share. But when I saw this Seaway, I was like you. And I went to sleep knowing that when I woke up today and the reaction show came on, that Alabama would be in the playoffs. Now I know a lot of people was worried because of how we lost yesterday, but at the same time, and me and you talked about this off the record, Seaway, it didn't even look like Alabama played with a sense of urgency. It didn't even look like they cared about the loss as much as the fans did.
Yeah.
And that right there told me something. Like, okay, we made it this far. But also we're gonna pull up this resume. We'll pull up this bracket in just a second. But I want you guys to remember on Tuesday, Alabama was ranked in the top 10. When they moved Alabama up to number 9, that told us something. That should have told everybody something. That Alabama was in no matter what.
Yes.
Right? That should have told everybody something. But what people failed to realize, they were blind to the fact that the committee had already had this thing laid out. Now, if a couple things would have happened differently, well, some other teams, maybe Miami would have not gotten in. Let's say if BYU would have beaten Texas Tech, because you would have had to put BYU and Texas Tech in, so that would have knocked Miami down. But we're going to talk about the Miami Notre Dame situation in just a second. But I was not surprised, Seaway. I was like you. I'm kind of surprised we were 9 instead of 10. But I was not surprised we didn't make the playoffs at all. And shouts out to Tip was at the game. She said it was terrible in person.
What's up, Tip? Hey, JB, you mentioned when I started kind of Like, man, I'm not really worried about that. You got to listen to guys like Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway, he could be one of our biggest haters at times, but most of the time when Joey Galloway bring out good points, his points be right on for the most part. And when I heard him saying that, hey, Alabama's not going to get punished for this conference championship game, and now you looking at, hey, if Alabama would have been left out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure next year you looking at a lot of teams gonna opt out of the conference championship just for the playoff spot. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
you got a team, let's say like Alabama was this year, right? Like number 9, number 10,
Right.
and have like a two loss, I'm gonna say a two loss team in our situation, or a 2 or 3 loss in our situation. Yeah, 2 loss. I'm gonna stay with the 2 loss, and they have to go to the conference championship game. What would have been the reward if we would have went to the championship and lost, and we would have fourth messed up our playoff spot? Now BYU didn't have a case. BYU was not in the top 12. They was not. And then you get blowed out by the same team twice. So that disqualified them. But Alabama, who only had one SEC loss, and that was at home, and the first game of the season, which they feel pretty much forgiving us for, because that was the first game of the season, and that was Florida State best game of the season. And now people want to throw up, hey, we lost to a 5-17. We does not deserve to go. That was the first game of the season with a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator, and so that game was forgiven. But you forget, and that's why I always say, JB, it's better to lose early in the season than late in the season.
Well, hold on. Let me stop you. In some cases,
In certain
because
cases.
in the case of Notre Dame, they lost early in the season and got left out, and it was the first game of the season as well. Also, in the case of Texas, they lost to Ohio State first game of the season and got left out. But I'm gonna tell you the difference. I'm gonna tell you the difference in Texas losing. Texas had 2 conference losses before. No, Texas had 2 conference losses. Alabama only had 1. Yeah, Texas, you did play Ohio State, who was ranked number 1 at the time, and lost that game. Alabama's lost to Florida State, who was a bad team, right? Turned out to be a bad team. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we lost that game. But also, Texas lost to Florida meant more because it was a conference game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a conference game. So if they hadn't lost to Florida, then we will see the point. And that's the reason I got on the show last week and said Texas had no argument. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you played a tough Ohio State game early on. Yeah, cool. You lost that game. But also, don't forget about the Florida loss, bad loss.
Right.
Don't forget about you lost to Georgia. You got beat down by Georgia. So that's 2 conference losses before you even get to where we at now. Alabama only had 1 conference loss going into last week. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we were going to the SEC championship to play Georgia. We would have went to the SEC championship to play Texas A&M had they beat Texas.
Texas,
So
right.
regardless of the fact, Alabama was going to the SEC championship with 1 conference loss because we were the number 1 seed in the conference and we were the only team to beat Georgia, which
Georgia.
made them the number 2 seed in the conference. So
Right.
let's and I know some teams are gonna say they got arguments or whatnot. And I see Nick Beasley talk about Notre Dame. The 2 teams Notre Dame lost to play each other in the playoffs. That is funny, ain't it?
I mean, that is funny.
But check this
And
out though. You play them teams back to back early on. You lose to those teams, no matter if you lose by 1, 2, 3. The rest of your games, you play a pedestrian schedule. Yeah, you beat a USC, but you don't have the resume, and you're not in the conference to even compete for a conference championship. To just sit back and say I deserve to be in the playoffs over these other teams who had to compete in conferences all season and go compete for a conference championship. Now,
yes.
also, see where you mentioned one thing, and before we pull up this thing, let's pull up for everybody who wanted to argue between Well, BYU lost their conference championship game. Why don't they get the same treatment as Alabama? Yeah, they both lost bad, but look at the 0-2 against the conference champion. We beat the conference champion early in the season. They dropped down one. We didn't move at all. But if you pull up BYU's resume and pull up Alabama's resume, and you see those 4 ranked wins on Alabama's resume, you're only going to see 1 ranked win on BYU's resume. They played a lot of mediocre teams throughout the whole season. So,
Yes.
and another point you made, they were ranked number 11 last Tuesday. Number 11 is not a safe spot. Only
It's
the
not a
top
safe.
10. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Only the top 10 are safe places. 11 and 12 are made for the conference champions. And we're about to pull up the thing and show everybody right now.
And
We're
JB,
gonna pull it up right now.
and JB, and you can't get, and BYU got blowed out both games through their conference championship. Both times they got blowed out when they played Texas Tech. So that disqualified them right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not necessarily. The simple fact, just so what we saw also on yesterday, it don't matter how bad you get beat in the conference championship. It matters that you made the conference championship and you were ranked in the top 10. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we saw an ACC championship game where the ACC champion in Duke had 5 losses. It did not even make the ACC. Don't even have a conference championship representative. That's why we got Tulane and JMU in the playoffs right now. And people can't argue. People can't argue. What the hell JMU doing here? They in the Sun Belt. They play Troy and they play South Alabama. They play Temple. But you can also have to go back. This was laid out by the college football committee. This is all about what they laid out. We want the top 5 highest conference champions. They did not say we're going to take the ACC chair, the SEC chair. They did not say. Last year they did. They changed it. People forgot. They changed it. So they said we're going to take the top 5 highest ranked conference champions, no matter what conference they come from. We're going to take the top 5 highest ranked conference champions. They're going to get in the playoffs. The other 7 slots are at large bids. So you get what? The 4 buys. And the reason Ohio State got a bye, come on, man, they were undefeated all season.
Yeah.
They were undefeated all season. You can't get mad at that, right?
Yeah.
Both
and
teams.
They play. And it was a close game. It was down to the wire. The field goal kicker blew the game, but it was down to the wire. They got that right. They the number 2 seed. You know, I thought it would be Georgia, but I'm okay with Ohio State being the number 2.
There's no fault in that. It's no fault in that. And look and think about it. They were undefeated. That's another thing to look at. Look at that. Okay, yeah, you have to flip 1 and 2 because they
have to.
So
you have to.
It's telling you head-to-head matters. It's telling you what you do in the regular season matters. It's also telling you strength of schedule matters. It's all the metrics are laid out. This is the perfect college football playoff bracket if you look at all the metrics that they laid out pre-season.
Right.
Now, I know as people are going to be mad. Notre Dame is going to be mad. Texas is going to be mad. Vanderbilt's going to be mad. But every year, somebody is mad. Remember last year, Seaway, when Alabama did not make it? I told you I understand. Because, like they say, when you in the conference championship game, we're not going to punish you for being in the conference championship game and losing. Go back to Clemson and SMU. Same situation. Except Clemson had 3 losses prior to going into the game. Clemson they were ranked outside of the top 50, but they had to win. SMU was ranked inside of the top 10. So they lost, but guess what? They still get in because we can't punish you for playing an extra game in the conference. Yes, we can't punish you. But guess what? If you're outside of that and you get to the conference championship and you win, we have to put you in. We
Yeah.
have to put you in. We would
And
have saw the same thing if BYU would have won. We would have
yep.
saw BYU get in. That would have knocked Miami out.
And
But
it's still Bama would have been number 10,
and we
and
still would have had
BYU would have just jumped over us into that number 9 spot for winning their conference. They would have
no.
probably jumped. No, they would
BYU would have probably
have
jumped up a
probably
little
jumped
higher
higher, and then moved Texas Tech. Probably would have jumped down to 9. But either goes, we would have jumped back to 10, and Miami would have been out.
out.
It would have
Exactly.
been out. It would have been out. And so what that is saying, from what they were saying yesterday, Joey Galloway, guys like Joey Galloway, Booker, and all them guys were saying that yesterday. They're not, so we got to look at it. They're not going to punish teams for going to their conference championship and lose and let a team who doesn't make it get punished because of that extra game. And so that is the argument. Now, Notre Dame, are we going to get started on Notre Dame yet, or are we still on this?
Now we still on this. Hold down on Notre Dame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am. And
Yeah, hold
and
down on
and
Notre
like
Dame.
in Tulane, like you said, and to piggyback off what you said, they was not gonna put Duke, who was, they was not gonna jump Duke
No.
all the way up. Yes, they won ACC, but that just shows you how pipes that ACC is. That you have a Duke who's a conference champion that's not even in the playoff, who was not even in the top 25. They was not gonna jump them over those other teams. Now you look at, if you put Duke in there, now Texas, you got you guys like Texas, Vanderbilt. All them guys gonna have an argument, gonna be mad because you got Duke in the playoff now, who is
Mhm.
really pipes all year in a pipes conference. So I, based off of what this, they got it right this year. And like you said, somebody gonna be mad. One thing about this, everybody's gonna be mad. And then let's say I saw somebody say 16. You're gonna still, if you expanded to 16, somebody else gonna still be mad. And if you do 16 teams, you still looking at, now you're gonna look at a 4-loss Alabama team still making the playoff. And you're gonna still say, Alabama didn't deserve to make no playoff. They just love Alabama because they got money and they know their fans gonna support. You got doggone right. We gonna support.
Yes, we are.
Whether
At
we win
this
and lose, you just want us to cry. And even thing is, even if Alabama would not have made the playoff this year, we still was gonna say roll tide. We still was gonna say, hey, we had our chance and blew it. You can't break our pride, 'cause we ain't for you need. I'm gonna talk like Jack Nicholson on A Few Good Men. You want us in the playoff. You need us in the playoff. You need us on y'all TV screen. You need us, because if you didn't have us, you won't have nothing to talk about.
exactly.
So screw
Exactly.
you in your feelings. Go be like BBL Juries and get in your feelings, because I don't want to hear
So so guess what, Seaway? They get,
it.
look, listen, this is the point, right? This is the
Right.
point of the whole thing. You can't get mad at Alabama this time. You
You
can't.
can't.
Oh yeah, okay. By the way, we are not the first 3-loss team to get in, but because Clemson got
Clemson
in
got in
last year with 3 loss.
last year.
Yep, they won the
Yeah.
conference. So don't say, man, Alabama the first 3-loss team in. No, we're not. Go back last
Go
year. Clemson got in. Now let's look at it now. Now let's flip the script a little bit. Now I will say this, because I also heard them say we're gonna pick the best 12 teams. They
Yeah.
lied. They lied. You're not going to pick the best 12, because I can't sit up here honestly and say that Tulane and James Madison University are the best 12 teams. I can't say
Yeah.
that. No way, no how. Because do I think Texas, Vanderbilt, Notre Dame are better than them? You damn right.
Yes. You're
Michigan,
right.
yes. So
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go that far. But it's not the best 12. It's the most deserving 12. And it's
It's
what
the
you do all season matters. From that
and in
first
the
half of the season, what
to
you
the
do
conference championship.
in the middle, what you do all season in your conference, it all matters. make your conference championship, stay ranked where you can move up into the top 10, 11 teams, you won't have a problem. Now,
Yeah.
you got to get a shout out to Tulane. You got to give a shout out to James
James,
Madison.
man.
They won 12 games. They won that conference. They did what they had to do. ACC dropped the ball. You should have. Now, I don't condone this, Seaway, and you know I don't condone rigging the championship games in the playoffs, because I really think last year the Clemson SMU was kind of fishy. I still to this day, I think it was kind of fishy, because once they kept Alabama out and they put 2 ACC teams in the playoffs, it would have never happened if SMU had beat Clemson. It would never happen. Alabama would have got in. Clemson would have not been in the conversation. So, but I'm like, ACC, man, why would y'all let Duke? I mean, if Virginia wins the game, you get a spot right in the playoffs, and we
Virginia
see
would have
no
been in the play.
JMU.
You won't see it. So the ACC president, they should have made that call like they did last year. You should have made that call like you did last year and told Clemson to call up the dogs to get SMU in there. So it's your fault.
Yep.
It's people like you that made it like this. And like you said, congratulations to GMs, to Madison, JMSU and Tulane for getting in. But guess
Nick
what?
Beasley,
Like you,
great comment. If Notre Dame wants to blame the ACC because Miami top 25 team not make the conference championship, but a 5-loss teammate. See, that's the ACC. They got some crazy tiebreaker where Duke made it, but Nick, also Miami had 2 conference losses, and Duke did too. But I don't understand how they picked who goes to the ACC championship. That's something out of my jurisdiction.
I think they do it by the I think I think they still do the split. Let me hold that thought. But guess what? Nick Beasley, Notre Dame has nobody to blame but themselves. Because had Notre Dame got in the ACC conference in football like they are in basketball, it would have been them playing against Virginia and not Duke playing against Virginia.
Exactly.
And now they would have had a spot secured had they beat Virginia. And now we're not even having this conversation about Notre Dame. If Notre Dame should get in the ACC like we've been preaching, I don't know how long, like they are in basketball, then you wouldn't even much have this argument.
We're going to talk about Notre Dame in just a second. We got a question right here. I want to get to this. Don't you think we got to reevaluate SEC championship games, though? Like, what's the point? Now, great point, and I got to answer. Now, if they go to 16-team playoff, which I think they're going to do, I think it's coming. It may not be next year, but it's coming in the next few years. They're going to do away with the championship games. Yeah. You cannot play conference championship games, then go right into a 16-team playoff. That's too much football. Because if you get a 16-team playoff, look at the bracket, 8-8. It's no buys. It's 8-8. It's 16 teams. You can't give 4 teams a bye because it's uneven. How can you give 4 teams a bye in the 16-team playoffs and play 6 games? How can you do that? You can't do that. So what they're going to have to do is, if you go to 16 teams, you're going to have to do away with the conference championships and just award a conference champion by regular season. By the record. Whoever is the number 1 seed in the regular season, you are the conference champion. Now,
what would have been if it would have been this year? It would have been Alabama because they won the end season. Yes. They had the best team. They had the best conference record at the end of the season.
And check this out. It's already in the works because they just added a conference game next year. We're playing 9 conference games next year. So you add a conference game, right? You add a conference game that's going to take away from one of the money games or one of your non-conference games that, you play an ACC school or, one of the other schools out of another conference. That's going to take that game away. You add another conference game, so now you got a 9-conference game schedule within a 12-game schedule. I think if you do that, now if you want to keep the conference championships, you got to knock down a regular season game. You can't have these kids out here playing 17 games to win a championship.
You can't. And you may tell, I think another solution to JB. I think what they're gonna have to end up doing is like they did this year. Instead of, hey, you know how in the NFL you don't play just 8 conference teams. You need to at least have 3 non-conference games.
Well, they already got that.
No, I'm talking about Power 5. I'm talking about Power 5. I'm talking about.
Okay.
You see, this say, hey, Alabama gonna have to play like, hey, Michigan like mid-season. You gonna have to play like a USC or Florida State or Ohio State. I mean, you look at it, since they want to do strength of schedule and wins matter. Those the only. I mean, is it the point now? At the end of the day, you do 16 teams, right? After you do 16 teams, then somebody gonna. It's like with this solution, somebody gonna always be mad because they are going to be left out. Then everybody's gonna be, and you give teams like y'all wanted to, not us, the other teams like got mad because of the SEC getting all the love, right?
Yep, we put the G5s in.
Yeah, you look at it. Y'all follow me, check. Everybody will get mad because Alabama, Georgia, LSU kept going to the playoff, kept getting love in the playoff, kept going to the championship and winning. And they wanted to extend the playoff. But guess what? You keep on extending the playoff. At the end of the day, they're still going to show love to your SEC teams. They're going to still show love to your Alabama. Because guess what? The SEC at one time had 11 teams in the top 25.
That's right.
They had 11 teams that's in the top 25. And even Caleb Downs, they would ask the question, the difference between playing in the Big Ten and the SEC. Even he came out and said it's more competitive. He had to compete every single game in the SEC. So you look at, you continue to stay in the playoff, you're going to still have somebody going to be mad. A 5-loss team going to be mad because they think that they deserve to get in the playoff because they beat a top 25 team. So it's no solution. Quit extending it and just play the best teams win.
If we would have had that extension right now, guess who would have been in the playoffs? Notre Dame, BYU, Texas, Vanderbilt. 2 more SEC teams on top of what we already have. So that would have been 7 SEC teams out of 16.
And now you would have had USC and Michigan mad saying that they deserve to be in the playoff.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Or Tennessee that's mad. You still.
That's why I think right here is where it has to stop. But it's not going to stop right here. It's not going to stop as well. They may change some things around. Okay, now they're probably going to make it where we won't get 2 G5 teams in. But if the ACC would have stepped up, we wouldn't have 2 G5s. The ACC spot got took by the Sun Belt
championship. Yep. So they can't. Miami can't blame Miami. You know what I mean? Miami, they in, but some ACC don't have anybody to blame but themselves. You have a coach stubborn like Dabo said that he don't need the NIL. He said that he was going to show that he did not need the NIL for him to win games.
Yep. Now let's talk about this right quick.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. Now this just happened a couple hours ago. Notre Dame withdrawing their name from consideration for a bowl game and will not play again this season. The decision comes after the Fighting Irish did not make the 12-team playoff. Now this right here is what we like to call crybaby energy, right? This is right. We are independent. We are not in a conference. We have been ranked pretty much all season. Now, I will say this. The committee, if they have a gripe with anybody, it's the committee because they gave them false hope by putting them at number 9 and then putting them at number 10. You gave Notre Dame false hope, committee, that they were going to make the playoff regardless of what happened. You should have never had them ranked above Alabama. You should have never had them ranked above Miami because guess what? Miami beat them head to head. You cannot, they got to stop doing this, Seaway and chat.
Hmm.
You got to stop ranking these teams. They got the same record, but the team that beat them head to head is ranked below them. You got to stop it. You got to stop
Gotcha.
doing that. I understand a team that, okay, let's say Miami had 3 losses, right?
Right.
Notre Dame had 2 losses, but Miami
Notre
beat Notre
Dame.
Dame. I understand that because I got more losses. I mean, you got more losses than the other team. But if y'all got the exact same record and
And
the
we
team
beat
that,
y'all.
yes, it's no way, it's no argument. It's no
Yeah.
argument. I don't know what are they arguing about. So they can go ahead and cry. Go ahead
I
and
love
take their ball and go home. And look at this. Look at this weak statement. Hold on. Look at this weak statement. So this is the statement they put out
as a team.
as a
We
team.
decided we decided to withdraw our name from consideration for a bowl game following the 2025 season. We appreciate all the support from our families and fans, and we're hoping to bring the 12th national title to South Bend in 2026. The 2025 Notre Dame te- football team. Can I get them, JB?
How you feel about that, bro? How you feel about this statement?
For one, shut up, baby hair, and the crying Irish. Y'all ain't no fighting Irish. Y'all are the crying Irish. I don't want to hear nothing y'all got to say. You should join the ACC like you do in basketball. And history served for the last some years, right? Notre Dame been benefiting for being independent, right?
Yep.
They'll go undefeated or lose one game and won't have nothing to worry about for no conference championship. Then you got a Alabama or a Georgia or Auburn and LSU and Clemson. Some of these teams they'll go to their conference championship, whether they undefeated or one or have one loss, go to the conference championship and maybe lose. And Notre Dame will have been jumping these teams for the last few years for being in the independent conference. Last year, they didn't have no conference championship
Nope.
and they jumped right in the playoff. This year, they've been freelancing the last few years. And now you're mad because of the same thing that you have been benefiting from for the last awesome years have bit you right in your behind.
Yep.
Ain't nobody care about what the crying Irish gotta go say. They can go be like Justin Timberlake and they can go cry themselves a river. I don't want to hear it. I ain't thinking about Mark Morgan Freeman with that pretty hair and that pretty skin. I ain't thinking about him. You can go somewhere and
Paul,
sit down.
Paul, you can't call no man no pretty skin. Now hold on, see
With
where you
that,
going a
with
little
the,
too far.
oh, I forgot to add. No, did it?
I like it. I like it. I
Hey,
like it.
hey, oh, up
I like
there,
it,
oh,
Seaway. I like it.
hey, up there looking like the pretty boy from the bank on New Jack City. I ain't thinking about you. You up there, and so now you mad. Now, what is now? I will say this and get back serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are the only team, right, that have as a whole, not to play your bowl game because you don't like what the committee have said. Florida State, yes, I understand the seniors opted out, but
Yeah.
yet they still showed up and played Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
We we got left out. Hey, we took it like a man, and we still played Michigan. You know, whether we won or lost, we
True.
went to the game. We played our game. Everybody has played their bowl game. Yes, sometimes the seniors go sit out for in the draft pro prospects will sit out. You know,
Yeah.
but guess what? You chose to quit as a whole because you didn't get your way. All you had to do is join the ACC
Mm, mm.
or go undefeated. Now, go undefeated.
And no
And
argument.
and no argument. If you was undefeated or maybe lost one loss,
One
if you
game,
was a
one
one
game.
loss, if you was a most of the time, we already know if Notre Dame has one loss,
They
they're gonna
going.
make the playoff.
They
They're gonna make
always
the
do.
playoff. They always do. If they undefeated to have one loss, Notre Dame always make the playoff or get a good bowl bid.
Yep.
But when they look, you lost two games, and one of the teams that beat you, both of the teams are in the playoff. Both of
Yep.
the teams are in the playoff. So Miami, if Miami makes the playoff because they beat y'all. And me and you said that a couple weeks ago, we don't see how y'all was even ranked where y'all were in the first place.
Exactly. And I like this comment. They new rules guarantee. So next year, if there's a rule that if you're in the top 12, you're gonna make the playoffs. If that's a rule next year, then we're gonna have to reevaluate some things because the G5s normally are not in the top 15. So you either gonna leave the G5s out or you're gonna
Hmm.
start putting a G5 team who's 12-1 or undefeated into the top 10, in which I think they won't do that because they don't have a strong enough resume. So we're going to see some tweaks of the rules, but
Hmm.
according to the book of the law, according to the law and their rule and their metrics, they absolutely got it right this year because you
They,
got the 5 highest rate conference champions. I'm going to repeat this.
yeah,
Then you also have 7 at-large bids, but you got everybody in there right. You got your 2-loss SEC teams, right? You got your Oklahoma with the 2 losses, but they got one of the best wins up there because they beat Alabama in Brian Denny. You got your Ole Miss with the 1 loss against Georgia. You
and
got
that's right.
your Texas Tech. I mean your Texas A&M with your 1 loss against Texas. But Texas A&M was undefeated almost all season except the last game. So you
Right,
can't knock them all the way out. They were ranked in the top 3. You
right.
got it right. Ohio State and they undefeated, 2 undefeated, 1 lose. You can't knock them down. Texas Tech was dominant. So Oregon, 1 loss. They lost to Indiana, but they won the rest of their games. So when you're looking at the 2-loss teams, and you looking at Alabama, they lost 2. Take away the SEC. Yeah, we see 3 losses on the graphic, right?
Eh,
But like
We
I
are two
said,
loss.
they
We counted this
got
at
2
two
losses.
loss. We count
Take that.
2 loss.
Yesterday counts, but it didn't count before they already had this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not crazy. And see why we're not crazy. They had this ready before them games yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
They
When we
already had
came
this
back,
laid out before the games. The only
that I,
thing that was going to change, the only thing they would have changed if BYU would have won, Miami would have had to come out, right?
and yeah,
If Virginia would have won, James Madison would
this
have had
man
to
so
come
when I could
out.
come out. And JB, for some reason, the committee loved that Iron Bowl win. I don't know what I don't know what the committee saw what we didn't see. you
It
know,
ain't even about that. It ain't
I
even
know I'm just
about
saying
that, to be
you,
honest.
but after they saw
They
that
lied.
Iron Bowl win, that's what they say. I'm just saying we was in there after we won that Iron Bowl.
They
You
lied.
know, we was in there after we won the Iron Bowl. We was in there regardless.
I said this weeks ago. I said Alabama can afford to lose a game. We were so good after beating Georgia. Now we lost the first game. They punished us. They knocked us all the way down to like 21 or something like that, right?
Right.
So we had to work our way up. But like you mentioned early on, we played 4 straight SEC teams that were ranked, beat them all mid-season. After that run, I was like, okay. After we beat LSU, yeah, okay. So no, before we played LSU, this was all before we got to our bye before LSU. We had ran through the little gauntlet and beat everybody. So I was looking at it, okay, either we lose to LSU, Oklahoma,
Or
or
Auburn.
Auburn. If we lose one, we're still good. We just can't lose 2.
Hmm.
We can't lose 2. So we lost 1. The Iron Bowl had nothing to do with this. If we would have won the Iron Bowl by 1 point, it don't matter. They just said that was just riff. They had to just throw that out there because they know they made a mistake by putting Notre Dame in front of Alabama. So they had to justify some kind of way to move. That Iron Bowl was not impressive. That was
It was
not
not.
impressive at all. They lied. They
They
just had
lied.
to say that to say, okay, y'all moved Alabama. Why y'all moved Alabama? Why today?
Mm.
They should have had Alabama up there in the first place. They should have never moved below Notre Dame. They made a bad decision by doing that after we lost to Oklahoma. But
And JB, I've been calling the committee and the AP poll about this all year. Chad, y'all can remember. I've been saying this. Notre Dame always get favored by the AP and the committee for some reason. They love the history of Notre Dame. And Notre Dame always get extra love more so than some of these other teams, which is okay. If they winning, yes, it's one thing. Okay, you freelance, you play teams and dibble dabble. And if you winning, that makes you look good. I don't have anything like you say. You beat this. Say okay, you beat Texas A&M, right? If you would have beat Texas A&M first, first game. I
You in the
mean the
play.
second. You're like okay, you good to go. You in the playoff. Nobody can argue with that. If you beat Texas A&M or Miami, Notre Dame, you in. Nobody can argue with that.
And check this out. I'm gonna throw you something else. Just imagine if they would have beat Miami and they both had one loss. They would have been in over Miami.
Yep.
They would have been in over, or even if they would have lost another game. Let's say they lost another game to another team, right? But you still would have the 2 losses, but you had the head to head on Miami. We wouldn't argue. Notre Dame,
We
you
were-
free to go because you beat them head to head.
Yep.
But you can't sit here with a team that beat you. Shouts out to Dade County and Miami Hurricane once again. Shout out to them. Yeah, they did slip up in the ACC and lose 2 games. They did not make the conference championship. But just because they sat right there, the Notre Dame win held a lot of weight when it came to this. It held a lot
Right.
of weight. Now, if you want to throw a team, I know you don't like this team, but if a team that I feel like had an argument, probably Vanderbilt.
I agree. Now,
Vanderbilt went through a tough SEC schedule, bro, and came out 10-2.
and I'm glad you said that. Me personally, I think Vanderbilt deserved to be in the playoff over Miami and Notre Dame if the truth be told. Because they played tougher teams. They beat some quality teams. And Vanderbilt looked good this year. I don't like them, but I gotta give credit where credit due. Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt would have been the most scary if they would have put Vanderbilt. If Vanderbilt would have made the playoff, I could have came on here and said that Vanderbilt looked like the most scariest team in the playoff because they are hungry
Let's
and
say
they play
let's say
hard.
see wait, let's say Vanderbilt is in instead of Miami. You think they got a chance to get A&M? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. I'm gonna take it further. If Vanderbilt makes the playoff over Miami, Vanderbilt, I'm saying this right now, Vanderbilt will beat Texas A&M.
They quite possibly. They
Because
quite possibly could beat Miami.
they
That's
can
a
beat
team you don't
Miami.
really want to play. You right? That's a team you really
So,
don't want to play.
so if we want to say the top 12, since we saying this, I'm gonna stop out the number 7 since I'm gonna give you who if I was the committee, I'm gonna give you my numbers and I'm not gonna be biased. At number 8, move to college 25. I would have had Oklahoma. I would have had at number 10. I could have said Alabama. At number 9, I would have said Alabama. Number 10, Vanderbilt. Number 11, Texas. And number 12, Miami. That would have been my top 12 teams. I'm not putting no James Madison in there because they're not one of the best teams. I'm not putting a Tulane in there. But those teams that I named, if we're going to be honest, are the 12 best teams in college football.
Yeah, I agree, C-Way. I would agree because I mean, looking at the last two now, you see. Let me move the thing down here so everybody can see. They got the first 2 teams out as Notre Dame and BYU, right?
Yeah,
At the
right,
bottom right there. That's the first 2 teams out. We already said why BYU didn't make it, right? So
right.
I mean, I'm sure they're not arguing. I'm sure they're not arguing. They can be envious of Alabama, but don't just be envious of Alabama. Be envious of the SEC conference because
Hmm.
the SEC conference is by far
The toughest.
the toughest, tougher than the Big 12 conference by
Hmm.
far. So
By far.
you do that, you deal with that. That's conference stuff, right? We
You
not even finna
and
question that, right? We're not finna
yeah,
question that.
and JB, if Notre Dame would have beat 3 top 25 teams back to back to back, I could say that they, even with the head to head against Miami, I could say that Notre Dame is the better team if they would have just beat three
I
teams
still
back
can't.
to
I
back.
still can't. I still can't do that. You can't. You can't. Head to head matter
You
way too much.
and no, you didn't follow me. I can say, to me, I can argue, hey, that was early in the season.
I
And
can't. I
then
still can't argue that.
no, I just wanted you to follow me a little bit. I'm saying I could
Go ahead.
hear
Go
the
ahead. Go ahead.
argument. Now I would say I can hear the argument that they deserve to be if they would have did at least half the things that we did.
That's true. But when
That's
it
what I
comes
would
to
talk
head to
about.
head,
Hey,
that's why
they
we're
out of there.
9 and Oklahoma's 8. They beat us.
Yes. And they
We got
deserve
the
to be
same
right.
record. They beat us.
And Oklahoma deserve to be right where they are because they not only did they beat us, they came in our backyard and beat us.
And football is a game of wins and losses. No matter
Right.
how you win, no matter how much you win by, a win is a win.
To
If
win.
I beat you, I deserve to be ranked higher than you. If we got the same record, no
Yep. And
matter,
you
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I beat this team. We got the same record. Let's just say both teams run the table. Well, but like both teams, look at Indiana and Ohio State.
Ohio State, Indiana beat them. Hey, you remember a few years ago, right? We got in the playoff. We couldn't get in the even with the winning the SEC championship 2 years ago. We didn't get in the playoff without Texas getting in.
Because they beat us.
Could they beat us? Texas did not, and we can honestly say
They
when we
rolled off
beat,
back in the playoff, bro.
but they rolled right back that year. Texas did not deserve to be in there. It really deserved to be. Really, Florida State did deserve to be in there. But guess what? You could not neglect that Alabama. We needed Georgia to stay undefeated, like you said a few years ago.
Yep.
And by us being Georgia that year, Texas rolled our coattail to the playoff that season based off of beating us at home, just for just beating us head to head. That's how they get in there. So, like you said, man, the committee it's tight, but it's right.
That's right.
It's
Yep.
tight, but it's and I can sit here on this show. If Alabama would not have made the playoff, I would have been okay with it because me personally, I could have said the way that we looked at man, nobody want to see that mess no more. But guess what? At the end of the day, we in there because of what we have done in this season this year. Now,
It's
what I
supposed to be
will
like
say,
that, though. It's supposed to be
yep,
like that.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. But I will say is you in there, Bama, and y'all gonna we'll talk about that more Tuesday. What are you gonna do now?
Mm-hmm. And this is the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. So first round, we got a week off. So this coming weekend is no playoff games, right? You got a handful of bowl games, but there's no playoff games this weekend. Next week, Bama got the first game Friday night. We got to go to Norman, Oklahoma, 8 p.m. Eastern time, December 19th. And it might be snowing. Ain't no telling what's gonna be going on because I think it was snowing in Norman, Oklahoma yesterday or today. So we don't know what to expect coming up in a couple Fridays from now. We just better be ready to play football, right? We better be ready to play
Yeah.
football. Now we're gonna talk more about this on not on Tuesday, but boy, I tell you what, this game right here is a lot. Both teams got a lot to win and lose because Oklahoma has not won a college football playoff game yet. They're 0-4 in the college football playoff. We hadn't beat Oklahoma in a long time. So we can't let a team that beat us 2 years in a row beat us for a third time, especially when all the money on the line, all the chips on the table. So we got to go back and get that win back. They came in our house and beat us. We got to go in theirs and beat them when it really matters.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question early, and we're gonna ask, and that's the question we're gonna ask Tuesday. JB in chat, is this a must win for Alabama football?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, I won't say it's a must win for Coach DeBoer. We ain't trying to fire Coach DeBoer. He good. So stop all the rhetoric. I saw a post last night. Should Coach DeBoer be fired? Man, get out of here with that mess. The man won 10 games this year, made it to the conference championship. So we're not going to do all that. We in the playoffs. We're not firing Coach DeBoer even if we lose.
Exactly. What is you tell another thing that I saw, JB? In the first two seasons, Goat Saban was 19-8.
Mm-hmm.
Coach DeBoer in his second season, 19-7.
Same thing.
Same. I know. Yes, he did inherit a good team. Coach DeBoer is a good coach. He needs to do something. I think he got to do a better job in certain areas, just like any other coach. But I got one question to all the Alabama fans that want him gone. If Coach DeBoer gets fired today, who are we gonna get? I mean, out there, I don't want to hit no, because for one, you're not gonna get Sarkeesian.
No,
You're not gonna get Lane right now, even though we don't want him. You're
no.
not gonna get Dan Lanning. You're not gonna get David uh the coach of Ohio State. I can't think his name right now.
Right, you're not gonna get Day. You're not gonna
Yeah,
get
you're
Day. You're
gonna
not gonna get Kirby. No, you're
Kirby.
gonna do
Who else you gonna get? Hugh Freeze? I mean, we just gonna be honest.
that.
All coaches that's available. Now I'm not talking about these coaches that already have. You're
Jobs,
not gonna
right?
get jobs. You're not gonna get Kirby. I'm telling you, some coaches, you're not gonna get Texas A&M. You're not gonna get some of these good coaches. Who else will we can get right now? They can have the success at Alabama that Coach DeBoer is having in his second year.
It's really a hard thing to say. I'm not even gonna even discuss it because we're not getting rid of the coach.
But we're
Right?
not.
I mean, people
This is
and see way we know how Bama fans are. Bama fans, y'all know how y'all are. Every time we lose a game, you want to fight a coach. That's just
exactly.
how Nick Saban spoiled us, bro.
Is
He
that and,
spoiled us.
and, and I'm gonna give us some light, Bama fans. Last year, we was right there last year of making the playoff. This year, we made the SEC. We turned it. Yes, we still lost 3 games in the same point of the season like we did last year. But guess what? We are progressing. We lost to a good Georgia team in the SEC championship where we just played horribly bad and was still in the game. But I'll say that for Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. I
I'll
ain't
say
gonna
that
say
for
I'm not
Tuesday.
gonna say we was in the game, but I would
Yeah,
say
but could
I would say pretty much it was no sense of urgency. We're gonna say that for Tuesday.
yeah,
But this is the schedule right here. Just an early look at the schedule. We got the first game in Norman. Then you could pretty much say 2 of those games gonna be blowouts. I think Oregon's gonna blow JMU out. I think Ole Miss is gonna blow Tulane out. They already blow Tulane out early in the
hmm
season. But let's not sleep because Lane Kiffin's not the head coach no more. Now they
and it's
they do have the coordinator. He's gonna go back and be the coordinator, Charlie Weiss Jr. But Lane Kiffin was calling the plays,
yep.
so it ain't gonna look the same. So maybe Tulane has a chance, but the games in Oxford, Mississippi, I'm taking Ole Miss. Now that Miami Texas A&M game is gonna be,
That's
it's
gonna
gonna be very interesting.
the game. I'm gonna go ahead. The 2 games to be on the lookout for is the Alabama and Oklahoma and the Texas A&M and Miami. Those are 2 games that's gonna be some much watch.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be 2 good games for sure. No disrespect to the G5 teams, man. Congratulations for great seasons. Y'all both won, I think, 12 games. But at the same time, you're stepping up another level. You in a different atmosphere right now, going against. I don't want to call Oregon and Ole Miss juggernauts, but they some damn good football teams. And they're playing
Yes,
some damn good conferences, right? So
mm,
y'all better be ready to play ball. That's all I gotta say about
that's
that. That's
and
all I
that's the
gotta
truth
say.
there.
Yeah. So we'll talk about more of this, like when it get closer to the games and stuff like that. We're gonna get more into it, dive deep into it. But this is your college football playoff, man. Y'all be happy with it. I'm good with it. See, what about you?
I'm good with it, man. I'm happy. I know the coach the boy, man, and shouts out and congratulations to Coach DeBoer.
10
He
win
received
season.
another 10-win season. A 10-win season. He had received a lot of heat. And for him to overcome and this team, and shouts out to this team, man. Shouts out to these young men to overcome the criticism at the beginning of the season, through the ups and the downs, and we still made the playoffs despite not playing our best some of the time. Congratulations, Coach DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide football team, man. I'm very happy for you guys.
Yeah. Now we know we got to buckle down. We got to get some guys healthy. We was out there banged up yesterday. No excuse though, because Georgia was banged up too. But we just got beat. Now we have another week. We off this week. So we still got another week, 13, 12, 13 days. Get ready. We know who we got to play. We know what we got to do. I expect them boys to be ready. I expect them boys to go out there. And if we lose, then we don't have anything to say about ourselves. We lost the doggone game. We lost to the same team twice. And but to say Alabama don't deserve to be in the playoff, that's blasphemous, as Stephen A. Smith would say.
Yeah.
That's blasphemous.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah. Now, please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Join us on Tuesday night.
And some of the and follow me on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram. I'm on Twitter.
What is it? They're right now. DJ Seaway. Well, y'all follow DJ Seaway right now.
Some of y'all follow me, man. Y'all let me get some.
DJ Seaway 1. That's the Twitter. That's the Twitter handle right there for DJ Seaway. Tuesday. You gonna be with me Tuesday, Seaway?
Yes.
For sure. And we hope y'all join us live Tuesday on our regular time, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're gonna break down some of these games because we didn't break any games down, but we're definitely gonna break some games down, and we're gonna talk about some of the bowl matchups, and we got some NFL talk coming up too, because playoffs it's getting playoff time. It's coming right around the corner, and we need to see what them Cowboys gonna do, Seaway.
Oh.
So with all that being said, man, I'm JB. That's DJ Seaway, and you have watched the 2025 college football playoff reaction show. Give us a like, give us a subscription, and we'll holler at y'all Tuesday night on Sports Talking with JB. Y'all have a good one.